Here's the truth nobody on the news is telling you.
The UK is the biggest shithole. It's now the worst place you could possibly live.
We live in a world right now where you can identify as a fucking lamppost and not get shit for it, but the moment you try and change your life, that's when everyone jumps on your back.
Like, everything is created in a way that it exists for us to, like, exist in it and just function.
Are they really taking our money while pretending to support us? Do they actually think the great British public is that thick?
Interest rates are up, food and fuel up, council tax up, rent's up because of the renters reform bill, wages flat, and the insane part, every time the government fixes something, it gets more expensive.
If this isn't a crisis in the United Kingdom, I don't know what is. This is happening on a daily basis. And what more are we to expect? This is a joke, an absolute joke.
There's something happening in the UK right now that we all need to pay a little bit more attention to. And it's this new Labour budget, because it isn't about money, it's about direction.
2-child benefit cap. Scrapped me. Watch this space. Baby number 3 coming your way. Thank you, taxpayers.
Welcome back to Broken Britain, the only place where we talk about the real UK, not the fantasyland politicians pretend we live in. Because today, we're talking about the truth everyone can see, but nobody in power wants to admit. Everything is crumbling, everything is broken, and everyday people are the ones paying the price. You can feel it the moment you step outside. Public services collapsing, bills rising faster than paychecks, food prices hitting new records every month, transport failing, rent so high it feels like a punishment. People aren't just struggling financially, they're struggling emotionally, mentally, physically, just to get through an average day. And while ordinary Brits fight to keep their lives together, the elite sit comfortably, insulated from the chaos they helped create. This isn't a glitch. This isn't a mistake. This is what happens when a system falls apart, slowly, then suddenly. So hit subscribe, because today on Brit Rants, we're asking the question that defines modern Britain. How much more can people take before the entire country collapses under its own weight?
What's your top tip for staying warm without turning on the heating?
Respectfully, Lanyard, I don't want to hear it. Why is this a conversation? How can we stay warm without turning on the heating? Oh, just put your hands under your armpits. Yeah, get a nice little hot water bottle. Get an electric blanket. Do that to yourself. No. How have we gotten to a point in this country where this is actually a conversation we need to be having? Because these energy companies still keep making money, still keep taking money from us. Like, their profits keep getting higher. Not money being brought in, their profits keep getting higher. So all it takes is for these energy companies to, I don't know, have a heart, and then we're fine. But how can companies all of a sudden be like having these conversations like they're helping us? Why don't we actually start looking at the genuine problems, which is the fact that living expenses are getting to a stupid point? I don't want to be told how to keep warm when every time I turn the heating on, it's like I have to take out a second mortgage. Have you got one of them like smart meters? I don't. I used to have one, but I like when I had it, I remember I looked at it and every single second the pennies went up and I was feeling warm. I was like, okay, I got 50 pence of warm today. That's enough. That is not the way I want to live.
Are they really taking our money while pretending to support us? Do they actually think the great British public is that thick? Because it's giving Bond villain energy all over it. I'm Shannon and I rant about the UK government because they are actually on some bullshit, yeah. He done cut some fees, which means support stays the same while prices rise up, meaning you pay more for the same scraps you're already fighting for. Pension penalties that taught long-term security while capping the relief and reducing what workers keep. Daylight robbery, cost of living, yeah. Food up, bills up, rent up, slight increase on the wages will take you to a higher tax bracket. And then they've got the audacity to stand on camera smiling like they've helped us. Where is the help? Someone show me the help. Someone please break it down for me, make it make sense, because I'm Shannon and I'm too loud to be ignored out here. Hit follow for more chaos.
Most people don't know this yet, but home ownership in the UK is about to become mathematically impossible. And unless you understand why, you're going to get crushed over the next few years. Here's the truth nobody on the news is telling you. Interest rates are up, food and fuel up, council tax up, rent's up because of the renters reform bill, wages flat. And the insane part, every time the government fixes something, it gets more expensive. They tax your income, they tax your house, they tax your fuel, then tax your spending. And now they've made mortgage affordability so tight that half of the country can't even qualify. It's not a cost of living crisis, it's a cost of government crisis. If you want any chance of owning assets in this country, you need a strategy the system can't squeeze. That's why I switched to cash flow assets, not a mortgage prison.
Yet more evidence that people want to see a wealth tax. All right, another day, another poll, this one from YouGov, and it shows that most people want to see public finances raised by taxes on the wealthy and big businesses. Now, at this point, the reform bots usually flood into the comments and say, oh, well, if you do that, all of these wealthy people are going to leave the country. We're going to lose jobs as a result of it. Now, YouGov asked that question. Do you want these people to be taxed even if it means that they leave the country and we lose tax revenue? And again, more people than not said yes. Balls to them. Let them go. Goodbye. Let's get rid of these scamming, predatory elites who are impoverishing us all. It's time to come together. Remember, it's not about left and right wing. It's about the haves and the have-nots. We're going to come together. We're going to fight those scamming elites. We're going to build our fair future.
So it wasn't a major topic that I wanted to talk about, but I guess a small topic would be this. The reason and why England is a country where you put in more and get out less. It's efficient, but only for itself, not for its people. Like, everything is created in a way that it exists for us to, like, exist in it and just function. Like the healthcare, NHS, free roads, certain aspects like free schools, certain food schemes and benefits and all that stuff, right? But then you gotta look at it like this. Why is this country less innovative than America and then also less developed than China? Now, I don't want to get too political, but I'm just gonna say this. England is just a country that, like, you only exist. You don't actually thrive, or you can't advance yourself to a certain degree because the government doesn't want everyone to get better. They need everyone to be to a certain level so that the structure doesn't collapse. It's kind of like recycling. Why do you think there's like so many rules and regulations in terms of businesses you can start, how the affordable housing, vehicles like insurances on vehicles, starting a company, starting football teams, any other business you have, rate of taxes for the mid group. Don't get it twisted, America have high taxes too, China as well, but China high tax the billionaires so it's affordable for the average people collectively, meaning everything gets recycled in China for the benefit of everyone collectively, which is why supercars in China cost like 60k and you can, things are affordable. A communist country, but it works. But this country isn't communist, but it acts like communist in the sense that it doesn't restrict people from doing what they want. Everyone's got independence, right? Everyone can do what they want to a certain degree. Don't get it twisted, there's still rules. But like, they make it so in a way that you don't want to do anything because they've already made it so hard for you to achieve anything. And I'm not trying to say this because I'm lazy or I'm not trying to make an excuse, but I'm saying it in the sense that I've seen loads of people that are older than me, right? And they've been doing so many different things. They've developed, they've gone through like so many qualifications, they've advanced themselves, they've tried investments, businesses and stuff. But they've always never managed to reach a certain pinnacle of, you know what I'm saying? Not because they didn't work hard, but rather the country doesn't give them what they actually deserve. So it's like, it's efficient, but only for itself, like the government. That's what I was trying to say. You put in more and get out less. This country is a terrible country to invest in. England is a country for contained existence, functionality, functionability. I don't even know the word, But yeah, we get the picture.
The UK is the biggest shithole. It's now the worst place you could possibly live. Crime rate has never been so high. They take all your money from you on bills and taxes. The tax rate in the UK is one of the highest out there, up to 45% income tax. Then on top of that, you've got to pay thousands in council tax, car tax, 20% on VAT on every single thing you buy, inheritance tax. They even tax you when you die. The list goes on. And they're constantly adding new rules and lying to you. Everyone got roped in with those electric cars. They said they wouldn't tax you. Now all of a sudden you've got to pay road tax on them. The government said they were going to put down taxes, but they've gone up. Look at the absolute state of the UK. This is what the town centres look like. British people are becoming second-class citizens, and illegal immigrants with a criminal background are getting priority over the hard-working British taxpayer. They're getting free healthcare, free housing, free benefits, you name it. And it's only going to get worse. While they continue to make your quality of life worse, you need to find a way to escape the system. Luckily, I work for myself and I'm outside the system. The sort of money I make, I'd never be able to make if I was just working a traditional job. You need to think outside the box, and if you want me to help you, then go to my profile.
2-child benefit cap scrapped me. Watch this space. Baby number 3 coming your way. Thank you, taxpayers. See, it's funny, I had insider information. I already knew it were going to be scrapped. And I'm like, oh, should I come and tell you guys? But then I'm like, what if they change their mind? But obviously they didn't. But guys, let me just say this. Don't get too giddy. I've seen a lot of people already excited. Like, I can have baby number 3 now. Don't get too giddy. The benefit cap ain't being scrapped. But yeah, I do think this is great news because I don't think kids should be penalised. Next up, can we stop sanctioning parents? Because that also penalises kids. Baby number 3. Should I do it, guys? Should I have a baby now? I mean, I can make content about it as well. Should I have a content baby? Another child benefit baby. I'm curious though, what are your thoughts about this? Do you think it's a good thing also? Next up, I say we lower grocery prices because I think that's everyone's biggest struggle at minute. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, start cutting the groceries down please because it has got absolutely ridiculous these past couple of years. Maybe I should just have about like 6 kids now. I think that's how many you get paid for, and that can just be my full-time career. You know, I've took the piss about it now, but maybe I should. They keep sanctioning me. I'll get my money back somehow, eh? Ain't it funny that all my haters have been telling me for ages the benefit system, they're going to get rid of it, you're going to get no money, and now like, have kids, have more money.
Do you know live in a country where if you claim benefits, you know, and you've got multiple children and you don't work, you can earn more than someone who does work but gets national minimum wage? Make that make sense. It's Friday. I hope you have a beautiful weekend. But I just can't get some of the things from the budget out of my head. And I know some of you can't because I'm getting inundated with messages in regards to the bits of the budget, what have affected you personally. They raised the national minimum wage, what was it, 85p was it? They tried to make it out like these people need this money to pay for the rent and the mortgages. Nobody's got a mortgage on £10.85, I'll tell you that right now. And if they have, they're probably struggling. Everybody's struggling. But how have we got to the point? You know, people, I noticed as well in some of the comments in the videos that I've seen, people are trying to, how can I word it, make it out that benefits and not working is a terrible thing. It's not as good as you make it out to be. Why is there so many people doing it? People literally, I've said it before, people literally do need benefits. They do have issues, they do have disabilities, they have children they got to look after. I get that, I'm not a problem with that. What the big problem is, and I think most of the people in the UK have a problem with, is people who just don't want to work, just want a sponge, just want to stay at home. They've no go in them. Why should they be rewarded with free money and more of it as well? That shouldn't work. That's a broken system for me. You're rewarding these people for not doing anything, not contributing anything. Everybody in this country should contribute in some way, and that's that. And that's why I think if miraculously an early general election comes in, whoever comes in next, reverse every single one of them decisions. What that I'm not even going to call them a party, that circus show called yesterday, madness.
Morning guys, it's currently 5:35, Saturday night in the morning. This is a video that I've been thinking about. So with the budget announcement and all that bollocks, I'm up at this time in the morning to go to work. Tax threshold's frozen, which means I'll be paying more tax. Now, someone please explain to me how fucking Dorian or fucking Shirley or fucking Sharon or whatever down the road with 15 kids can sit on her fat ass and do fuck all and get benefited from it. It is a truly broken fucking Britain corrupt system. I'm saying this from the heart as well, because I pay child maintenance for one of my childs. I've got 3 living at home, and this is why men do what they do. You know, kind of thing. There's so much pressure on a man, it is unbelievable. I'm currently going to work for 12 hours in a fucking fridge. For what? My kids have a good lifestyle and everything like that. They're not in poverty. Every single time I've had a new child or new baby's been born, I've always gone out and bettered myself, so my kids can know the value of a pound and that their daddy always works. But when you get people just sponging off the fucking system, it's totally wrong. I'm making sacrifices like this every fucking day of my life so my kids can have a better life and they know the value of a pound. But yet other people just sit on their fucking asses and do fuck all. It is truly disheartening. It really fucking is. And I just don't know what this fucking Rachel from accounts or whatever her fucking Doris name is that sits there. You don't see her getting up at 4 o'clock in the fucking morning to go to work 12, 13 hours a day. No. And it's got to a point of where, yeah, I am making sacrifices because it's for my kids. And that's what you do. You go out and better yourself for your kids. Not sit on your fucking asses and still trying to claim more fucking money from the people that are out there actually fucking working.
I've just got back from Seville, and as soon as I stepped off that plane in a pissy Manchester, I felt the inevitability of disappointment washing right over me. Now, I don't know if it's because I had a real good time over there, or the fact that I actually properly know that this place is fucking terrible. So I managed to get through the airport to the station at Manchester. Train's cancelled. So we had to wait, jump on another train over to Manchester Piccadilly, which was absolutely filthy. And then when we got off the train at Manchester Piccadilly, it was absolutely rammed with Newcastle supporters pissed out their heads, trying to get back home, just the same as we were, pushing us around all over the fucking place. And there was no room for them all. Now, I know this happens all over the place, but it was chaos. Absolute chaos. Let me tell you something about Seville. They have little doodle bugs with skips on the back that go around all day picking up litter on the streets. There's recycling units at the side of the road everywhere you go, and it's people's duty to take their recycling to these bins. They are kept very tidy. Later on at night, these skip wagons disappear. The same size wagons come out with Bowsers on the back and jet washers, and they jet wash every street, keeping it clean. The place is pristine, it's organised, and then you come back to UK, and it's a fucking shithole. The trains are an absolute fucking mess. The waiting rooms were disgusting. Nobody gave a shit. And then when I do get back, I start reading on the news, potentially no general election. There's a huge potential that our council's going to go fucking bust. Everywhere you look, it's the DVLA are going to fine you for this. The HMRC is going to come after you for this. Like I said, the inevitability of disappointment. I mean, the second I landed, I was fucking fed up again. And you know what? If I won the lottery tomorrow, it wouldn't fucking change it. Because nobody fucking cares. I still stand by what I say. This country has gone to the dogs.
It's taken me actually a couple of attempts to actually do this video, but we'll try. So we've just had our nursery bill for October 25 to put both my children into nursery full time, and our bill has come up to over £2,000. Both my husband and I work full time for the military. Unfortunately, due to our posting being very far away from family, we are unable to get the support of family to help with stuff like childcare. And with the funded hours and the tax-free childcare, our nursery bill has come to over £2,000. That's my entire salary. So I'm essentially working for free. I work full-time for the military in a well-paid job, and my entire salary has basically just gone on nursery, and that's it. So I'm paying for someone else to have my children, play with my children all day, for me to basically work for nothing. And they wonder why a lot of women especially leave the services. I'm leaving the services for one of them. That was one of many reasons why I've decided to leave. But that is one of them, because the government does not help military families with childcare. And it's really, really disappointing. How do they expect, especially dual-serving families, to afford to pay for childcare? My entire salary's gone just on nursery. Then once all our payments have come out, all our bills, we are literally left to afford to pay for our food bill. And that's it. It's really, really upsetting, the fact that we both work full time, and we don't earn enough money to actually then treat our family to a holiday or anything like that. I guess I just thought my life would be different. I thought being in the military, I'd be able to afford a decent life for me and my family, but clearly I can't really do that. And somehow nursery is a complete luxury in this life, and it shouldn't be. Nursery shouldn't be a luxury. It should be somewhere that we're able to put our children, to be looked after during the day, where we can go to work, and we can earn a decent wage for our family, so that we can afford to go on nice holidays and day trips out and stuff like that. But that just doesn't seem to be kind of really the option at the moment. It seems to be you work to be able to afford to put your children in nursery. It doesn't really add up. And then they wonder why people are deciding not to have children anymore. I think I might have found your problem.
So there's something happening in the UK right now that we all need to pay a little bit more attention to. And it's this new Labour budget, because it isn't about money, it's about direction. And the direction is unmistakable. It's away from personal autonomy and towards state dependency. When you do what they've done by raising taxes on small businesses, tighten the pressure on working families, and make it harder for people to build something of their own, you're not encouraging growth, you're encouraging reliance. Not loudly or aggressively, but through policies that make the state feel like the only safety net left. And this approach doesn't stand alone. It sits alongside the Child Welfare Bill. Now, this is a piece of legislation that gives local authorities unprecedented influence over how parents raise their own children. Bit by bit, it weakens parental authority and strengthens the hand of the state. So when you take these two together, the budget and the bill, you start to see a pattern. A government that believes it knows better than the individual. It knows better than families, better than parents. This is how autonomy fades. Not with a dramatic announcement, but with a slow accumulation of decisions that centralise power and dilute personal responsibility. So we've now got to this point where every citizen needs to stay alert. They need to think critically and recognise what's at stake, because it's not just our economy, it's our country. And it's our freedom to shape our own lives and raise our own children without state interference. And that's the real issue here, and it deserves to be spoken about openly, before dependency becomes the norm and autonomy becomes the exception.
We live in a world right now where you can identify as a fucking lamppost and not get shit for it, but the moment you try and change your life, that's when everyone jumps on your back. There's a massive stigma in the UK, and I still don't know why, that the moment you try and make a change in your life and do something better for you, everyone has to stick their noses in and has to give you shit for it and try and bring you back down. I've had this as well, because all I've been doing for the last couple of months is locking myself away, learning skills in order to leave construction within the next 2 months, so I don't have to worry about money for the rest of my life. I can provide for my future family and do well for myself, but for some reason that is shit on. It's cool, you know, identify as a lamppost and get no shit for it, but try and change your life and everyone wants to jump on your back.
Can someone tell me how a single person is supposed to survive in the UK right now? Because the numbers just don't add up. Everyone keeps saying it's cheaper to be single, live on your own. That's not the case. If you're not a couple, you have to pay all of that on your own. So let's talk about rent. So you're talking 650 to 1,200, depending on where you live. These are averages, okay? Then you've also got to think about your council tax, another 180, 120, depending on where you are again. Then that's before you've got food, before you've got utilities, before you're paying your TV licence, everything. You are paying 100% of all of that. Before you've even started living, you're looking at 1,200 to 1,600 per month. Again, these are averages, not necessarily accurate depending on the area that you live in. I think the thing that gets me is people just say, well, go and get a better job, go and get a higher paid job, go and learn a skill. Yeah, you can do all of that, but we shouldn't have to. At the end of the day, if you're working full time, if you're doing a 35-hour plus a week, you shouldn't need to go and get a second job. You shouldn't need to have a side hustle, but people are, and that's the only way they're getting by. Or they're using credit because they just doesn't add up. The cost of living versus the average salary or the minimum wage salary in the UK, it doesn't match. No matter what, you're always going to be worse off. Now, these aren't luxuries. These are the basics that you're paying for. Your car insurance, you're paying for your gas, your electric, all of that. And then you're working for nothing. It's not living, it's surviving. You are living to work, and that's not right.
Make sense. £4.10 for 4, £4.65. The maths just mathing.
Only has Nando's become more expensive. Why is that chicken so small? Actually just, bro, that is the smallest chicken I've ever seen at Nando's.
I want a baby chicken. I would
have got a baby chicken.
I just really can't seem to wrap my head around how here in the UK, it's just considered totally normal that childcare costs an arm and a leg. Like, I don't think people understand that in countries like France, where I'm from, it's free, 100% free to put your kid in childcare. It's more expensive to put your kid in childcare here in the UK than it is to have your kid in childcare full-time in the US, right? And the US is the go-to dystopian capitalist society. So what's going on there? It's like you get stuck here between wanting to have children young so that you can have the energy to spend time with them and then have grandkids young, spend time with them, or have the money to actually raise your kids. What ends up happening is you end up in a situation like myself where you have them young and then people cry that, you know, your missus isn't working. Of course we're going to take the universal credit rather than have her go to work full-time and have someone else raise our child. Why anyone would desire to work for the same amount of income at the end of the day, because you lose on your benefits when you're working and then you have to pay childcare and all your wage just ends up going to that. Why would anyone do that?
Oh my god, I nearly just had a coronary. Like a heart attack. $5.45 for a medium chocolate cream frappuccino. Since when? Oh my god, I've known one for years though. I'm happy now. Cheers. And where's the chocolate drizzle?
Right, I'm sorry to be that person, I really am, but I've just paid £5.30 for a small hot chocolate at Starbucks. And I feel well and truly taking the piss out of. Come on, £5.30 for a small drink. You've got to be joking. I just think you're just being cheeky at this point. Like, why are we all thick enough to spend it as well? Like, if I was in a shop and a tub of Cadbury's hot chocolate was £3, I'd be like, oh no, I'm not buying that. It's not on offer. £2, I'd buy it. And I'm spending £5 on one drink. Honestly, Starbucks has got us in some kind of chokehold. They really have. I don't know what they're doing, what they're putting in these, because something is not right. Something doesn't weigh up. Why are we going crazy over a hot drink?
I saw a video, and I'm gonna tag the person, but he was showing that the supermarkets in the UK are literally putting locks on their bins. So at the end of the day, they're throwing out the produce, whether it's meats, fish, veg, whatever, and then they're locking them. And I was just like, wow, what kind of society are we living in where people are no longer allowed to have access to food that supermarkets are literally throwing out? Like, if it was my job, there are certain jobs you should never hire me for. Don't hire me to be a security, because if I see a lady stealing formula or nappies or like any kind of essentials, pads for example, babes, I'll tell you for free, I'm turning the other way. Like, I didn't see it. I'm not that person. It's not gonna go well. And in this case, if it was my job to put the lock on the bin, best believe I'd put the lock in. But I'm not tightening that, because the idea that you are hungry and you are going to a bin to get food and I must stop that, babe, I'm not the one. I'm not the one, because I feel like my sense of humanity and my sense of compassion just would not let me do the job. So I'd probably end up being fired anyway. But I'm like, really? Again, you're throwing it out. So it's not that it's coming out of your profits. And like, who is literally going to be able to afford food, but they're going to wait until you throw it in the bin and then go and get it? I don't think the average person is going to do that. And there may be some people who will do that. And so you just count your losses, right? But the idea that you're going to prevent actual hungry people from eating, where in my mind, what you should be doing is offering that food at the end of the day. Like the food that you're going to throw out, offer it to your staff. Offer it to homeless people, offer it to people in need, because at this point, it's just a lose-lose for everyone. You're losing money by not selling it, and then you're losing the opportunity to help another human being eat. And we're talking about food. Food is not a luxury. And the society that we're currently living in, it feels as though eating is slowly becoming a luxury. And that to me is like a ridiculously dangerous place.
Tell me the UK ain't fucked after you've been down Green Street in London. Drive down Green Street in London, you tell me that that's fucking normal. It's fucking disgusting, mate. It's fucking disgusting. Like, I can't deal with it. I can't see any English anywhere. Like, it's not fucking right, mate. None of these cunts are fucking working. Fucking call me racist all you want. I couldn't give a fuck. Hope you get hit by a fucking bus. No wonder they've all got fucking smiles on their faces. Free fucking benefits, free fucking housing, free fucking everything. Come down here and they're the majority, mate. Don't even bother coming down Green Street and having an attitude with them, because I'll end up getting me a cut off. Like, this is fucked, mate. This is absolutely fucked. And I refuse to come down London again. I'm quitting my job. If work ever asks me to come down London again, I'm quitting. So, fuck this shit. I ain't doing it no more. Fucking hate it.
What the hell is going on in the United Kingdom? 19 WH Smith stores closing down. 68 restaurants, Pizza Hut restaurants closing down. 41 New Look stores closing down. 68 stores of Poundland closing down. 103 Morrison stores closing down. And the list continues. If this isn't a crisis in the United Kingdom, I don't know what is. This is happening on a daily basis. And what more are we to expect? This is a joke, an absolute joke.
Rent freezes sound fair, right? Until you realise who they really freeze out. There's growing noise for rent freeze caps across the UK, especially with affordability pressures and all those rising living costs that we're experiencing. Now, on paper, it makes sense. Tenants get stability, rents stop climbing, and landlords keep hiking prices. But here's the other side. When rent freeze hits, like we've seen in Scotland, landlords stop buying. Some sell up, some stop maintaining stock, and supply drops fast. Now that means less choice, worse quality, and higher rents in the long run. It's not just landlords who want fair rents. They need predictable returns so they can keep investing, improving, and providing homes. Homes that, some people are not able or want to buy. Some people want to rent, some people want a home ownership. If governments want to tackle the high rents, the real answer is building more homes, not punishing those who are already supplying them. What do you think? Fair protection for tenants or another short-term fix that backfires?
Right, I'm going to have a moan this morning. See your electricity and gas company, right? Now, for instance, I'm with Octopus. Now, I moved from Ovo to Octopus. I wouldn't say that Octopus are much better, to be honest with you. If there was move over to them, they're great. I don't pay by direct debit anymore. Since all of this happened, since all of this price increase happened, the amount that any electricity company is charging you per month for direct debit is insane, right? I can't remember what mine was, but it was absolutely off the scale nuts. You know how they do an estimate thing? So I was like, right, nah, I'm just going to pay what I use each month, right? Now, if you're even one day over, the date that your bill would be due, Octopus are continually phoning you, right, to pay it, which is fair enough, chasing it up, but it's pure harasses me and I can't cope. But not only that, they've got their reward system, and it's you get free coffee, one free coffee at Greg's per week. you get like free coffee at, I think it's Cafe Nero, different places, right? Because I don't pay by direct debit, I can't use that service, which doesn't bother me. But see, instead of giving us a reward service, can you not just, I'd rather have, what is it for a coffee out of Greg's, £2.50, £3? I'd rather have that money each week off my bill. Like, they surely must need to pay Greg's, Cafe Nero, all the different places that you get these discounts from. They surely need to pay them a substantial amount to give their customers free stuff. Why not just give the customers the money off their bills? Like, what the hell? And I must admit, I'm worried about the winter time and how much the bills are going to cost again. Like, not only are the electricity bills high, but obviously the cost of food and everything's just so high. It's just terrifying. But yeah, that's my moan. I don't understand it. I'll never understand it with these bloody reward systems. Don't bother giving us rewards. Just give us cheaper gas and electricity. And that's the guinea pigs. They're telling me they feel the same way.
Right, I'm going to have to go on another rant about car insurance companies, because I don't think people realise what degenerates they are. And here's the worst thing about them, of all the many awful things about them. They encourage you to lie. Now, you might say, if you've ever dealt with them, well, they tell you that to make sure to be accurate. Right, but they've got all the information, right? They damn sure pick it up once you've crashed, but they know, right, that desperate people will, right, want to bend the truth. And why would they let you do that? Because it's win-win, right? Why wouldn't they? They get your premium, which is already inflated anyway, but if you crash, then they get through checking everything out, and boom, they don't pay you a fucking penny. And that's just scummy, because they know how desperate people are, and they could just say, look, that doesn't match our records, that, you know, or they could just do it themselves and give you a price like every other business, but for them it's perfect if you lie. And that screws over everyone, because, you know, someone who didn't mean no harm, they just didn't quite have the money if they mentioned that they got 3 points, because the police won't stop putting fucking speed cameras everywhere. Where I just came from and to, there was entire miles and miles of road, and it, like, famously, right, they put speed cameras where there's nothing, but except like lots of different speed limits. And I'm thinking, you are just intentional. This is not about safety, this is about money, obviously. And you know, it's like, listen, I know you want to make money, I know, like, could you not just put some work into stopping the gangs in London stealing people's phones, or burglaries, or something that actually makes the lives better in England? Like, do you have to, like, work on all of the most pernickety, minute, crummy little crimes that just all, and then the fine is bad enough, but then the points on your insurance, which goes for years. And I wouldn't be surprised, I have no evidence of this, but I wouldn't be surprised if the insurance companies say, and there's only a few, right? I know it looks like there's lots, there's only a few. Go, listen, if you can get up to 20,000, you know, penalty points across all the drivers, which is a lot of money, good things can happen to you. You know, I mean, we support our police. We'll donate. You know, if you don't think deals like that happen, again, that one in particular, have no evidence. But if you don't think shit like that happens, then you're so naive that you're almost dangerous. Anyway, rant over.
Oh shit.
Let's be honest with ourselves. Britain isn't struggling a little. Britain isn't going through a phase. Britain is breaking, piece by piece, and people are feeling the pressure from every direction. For millions, daily life has turned into a survival routine. Public transport delays, normal. GP waiting lists, months long. Prices going up every week. Wages keeping up, Not even close. And it isn't just households feeling the strain. Councils across the UK are declaring effective bankruptcy. Schools are cutting essentials. Hospitals are overstretched. Food banks are reporting record-level demand, with some saying they're running out of supplies faster than they can restock. Look around. Nothing works the way it should. Nothing feels stable. And nothing feels secure. People are tired, not because they're lazy, not because they don't work hard enough, but because no one can function properly when the entire system around them is falling apart. When you have to choose between heating and groceries, when rent eats half your paycheck, when you can't get a doctor's appointment for your child, when every basic part of life becomes a battle, the crisis becomes more than economic, it becomes emotional. This is the weight Britain is putting on its people. This is the exhaustion nobody in power wants to discuss. But this isn't the fault of ordinary families. This crisis didn't happen because people aren't budgeting well. It's the result of decisions made at the top. Decisions that prioritise profit over people and comfort for the elite over survival for everyone else. Until those in charge recognise that this crisis is destroying lives from the inside out, nothing will change. Britain is crumbling, but the people shouldn't have to. Stay aware, stay strong. And if this video spoke your truth, subscribe, because on Brit Rants, we say what the elite hope you never notice.